It's John Black again. I keep forgetting to set this first before I start the video. It's my timer so I know when to stop. But anyways, and then the more questions I had, like I had questions about Job in the Bible. Job is the guy who God, he loves God, like, him and God are like this, they're tight, man. They're great together, love each other like family. The devil comes along and he's rich and he's got family and wives and kids and he's got a great life. And the devil comes by, supposedly the most evil person in the universe, right? Comes by and says to God, that Job, man, the only reason he worships you is because you give him all that shit, man. You gave him wives and kids and all them animals and lands. God's like, nah, man, that's not true. That's not true. If he didn't have all that stuff, then I would, he'd still love me, man. And so the devil says, oh, well, why don't you stop protecting him and see if, let's see who's right and who's wrong. Let's not like a little bet on this, right? What's funny is in the Bible it says you're not supposed to bet stuff, but whatever. But I guess since this is a gentleman's bet, where no money is exchanging hands, it's just to see who's winning. I guess it's okay. I don't know. But anyway, so God says, all right, let's do it, man. He takes off his protection off of the Job and lets the devil do whatever he wants to him, right? So, of course, the devil kills off all his animals, droughts his land, gives him boils, kills his kids, kills his wives, and, gives him diseases and all this kind of stuff that he's doing, right? And Job is still there like, yo, man, I still love you, God. I know that this is, he doesn't know that the devil's doing it or what's going on, but he's just praying, hey, man, I still love you. Still love you, God. Thank you. Thank you for giving me life. And God says to the devil, see, you were wrong. You were wrong. And somehow, I can't even remember how that story equates to God being a good person. Like, I'm like 8 years old. I'm saying, well, I thought God loved Job. Why did he let all that stuff happen to him, man? Just to prove a point to some guy that's supposedly the most evil person in the universe? And God knows everything, so he knew he would be right. What was the point of it? Why would he do that? Why would he do that? That's to this day. I still don't have a Christian can explain that in any way, shape, or form that makes any sense whatsoever. You know what I mean? It's like people wonder why the woke people are the way they are. They're that way because they came from people that were Christians, man, and they seen how crazy it is. You know what I mean? And it was too crazy for them, so they start going to the woke religion. And it's easy to believe a bunch of crazy crap when your whole life, in the woke religion, it's easy to believe it when your whole life that you've been taught, hey, crazy shit is true, man. Crazy shit's true. Some people can't forgive unless they have their son murdered by other people. That's just a fact of life, man. You know what I mean? Some people, they love the other person, but they won't. They'll let their wives die and their kids and their animals and give them boils. They don't care. But so I knew, like, it was crazy, this Christian religion. Everything they were saying was like so evil, and I always said, growing up, or not growing up, I guess in my teens or whatever and higher, the more and more that I realized how evil, Christianity really was, or Judaism. When I say Christianity, I'm talking about the Jews, the Muslims, and the Christians. They're all the same religion. They're just a different branch. You know what I mean? That's why they call Christians Judeo-Christians, because they're part of the Jewish, and they have a Jewish Bible, they have a Jewish God. If you ask all three religions, you tell them about the Genesis story, and you say, is that true? They'll say yes. You tell them about the, Cain killing Abel or whatever it was, vice versa or whatever, I don't know. You say, was that in your, is that true? They'll say yes. If you name a whole bunch of stories from the early parts of the Jewish Bible, all three religions say, yeah, that's God. So it's not, they all believe in the same God. They just have different beliefs on what he did in different parts of the time. Like there was a bunch of Jews, and half of the Jews, or some of the Jews, started becoming Muslim and following the writings of Muhammad. And they were saying that Muhammad was the, or whatever the guy was, he was the prophecy from God. The Jews over here were saying, no, no, no. So to distinguish the difference between these two Jews, because they were both Jews, they started calling these people over here the Jew Muslims. And then they just shortened it to Muslims, you know what I mean? But they're still Jews. They believe in a Jewish God. They just believe that up to so much of the Bible, and then they go off onto the Muhammad teachings. The Jews keep adding to the Bible more and more and more. And when the Christians came around, those were all Jews too. They believe in the Jewish Bible. They believe in a Jew God. The only difference, they think that Jesus was a Messiah, and the rest of the Jews don't. So again, you got two different types of Jews. The Jews that believe in Jesus and the Jews that don't. So you got to give them a different name. But they're still Jews. That's why they call them Judeo-Christians. And today, we usually just say Christian. We drop the Judeo, even though it's implied that you are a Judeo or a Jew Christian. The reason why I just say Christian is because, man, we're in the United States. Where are you going to see some Jews or Muslims? I mean, what? Florida? You know, they're not that. Most people are Christian. Let's face facts, okay? So anyways, I forget what I was saying, of course, because I always forget what I'm saying. So anyways, every time I would say that, these stories are crazy and they're evil, they'd say I'm the one who was crazy. I'm the one that was stupid. So I've always said, since I was a teenager, my mother, if she had a dream or she thought or had a hallucination and she thought that God came down to her and told her, hey, I want you to take all your children. She had 7 kids, okay? I want you to take all 7 kids. I want you to tie them to the chair. I want you to rape them several times. I want you to torture them for a while and then kill them all. She would do it like in a heartbeat. She wouldn't even hesitate. She is pure Christian, okay? She is a pure Christian all the way through, man, down to the core of what she is. She is Christian. No one is more Christian than her, okay? She would do anything. There is nothing evil that this woman wouldn't do if she thought God was telling her to do it. Not one goddamn thing. Not one thing. She would throw me to the fires and torture me, rape me, kill me, whatever and she would be happy. After she got done doing it, she would go to God and say, thank you for letting me do a favor for me. I appreciate it. Thank you. That's what she would say after raping and torturing and killing me. That's what she'd say. If she thought God, now she didn't think God was saying that, she would never even think of doing such a thing. That's the thing about Christians. They have no morals. See, they only follow blindly what the Bible says. And they don't even know what's in the Bible. Did you ever notice that an atheist knows everything in the Bible, almost word for word? And then you talk to a Christian, they don't know, they have no clue what's in the Bible. None. They've never read it. My mother read the Bible for her entire life. She's 80 years old right now, or however old she is. She has read the Bible her whole life. I've read the Bible cover to cover 100 times, and I'm not. Same with my one sister. I've read the Bible, blah, 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 blah. Then you go show them parts of the Bible. You're like, well, what about this part? Oh, I've never seen that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, I never seen that. Oh, wait, I never seen that. So anyways, about 20 years ago, I was like, well, my mom's going to be dead soon. I'm going to be dead soon. I want to prove, not to anybody else really, but just to myself, am I right? Will this woman really tie me to a chair, rape me, kill me, torture me if God told her to? Would she do that? Am I just thinking that in my head and it's not really true? So 20 years. And my mother doesn't have a memory, so I don't have to worry about her remembering. You know what I mean? And my whole life I've done interviews for people, surveys. I've surveyed and interviewed murderers, hitmen, gangbangers, a bunch of different type of whatevers, you know what I mean? And I've given a lot of surveys too. So I like doing those kind of things, you know what I mean? Like the last survey I did, I asked a question, how old is the planet Earth? Is it 10,000 years old? Is it 4 billion years old? Or is it, I think I said 4 million years and then 4 billion years. Which is it? Because someone told me that most people will think it's 10,000. I was like, man, even Christians know that not to believe that crap, because, I mean, come on. I was like, there's no way. So I went out and I asked about maybe 100, 150 people at the place I was working at. It was a factory. I went around and I asked every person that was on the floor, and I tallied it up or whatever, and most people, believe it or not, believe that the planet Earth is only 10,000 years old. I just, because I have no faith in humanity as anything except being psychotic, stupid, and moronic, you know what I mean? But even I didn't think that they were that stupid, like that. You really think we're 10,000 years? What, are you serious? Like, what? Like, I wasn't asking like how old was the human race. I was saying how old was planet Earth? Like, really, 10,000 years? What? That's what they all said, man. I wish I could keep track of what the hell I was talking about. But I'm running out of time here. But anyway, so the last 20 years, every year I'd go, not exactly a year, but, 6 months, 8 months, every so often I'd go over and I'd give her a story or do an experiment with her, and I'd tell her it's just a psychological question, a psychological experiment I want to do, and I want to do it on you. I'm doing it on other people too. And I would come up with a story, right, that equated to something into the Bible. But I would put me in God's place, you know what I mean, in the story, and then I would do everything that God does in his stories. That would be me. You know what I mean? And my mother wouldn't know I'm really telling her a story that was in the Bible. She wouldn't know that. She would just think it was about me, and this was an experiment, a psychological question experiment type thing. For example, I would, in the Bible it says that, if you get raped and you're not betrothed to anybody, and you get raped and they get caught, that they are forced to pay the rapist is forced to pay 50 shekels to the father of the rape victim. And then the rape victim gets to take the rapist gets to take the rape victim home to his house and pretend to marry her, and then rape her over and over again for the rest of her life, and make her clean his house, and go get the food and make the food, and do all the maid stuff or slave stuff. And so I didn't put myself in that story. Actually, for that story, what I said was in the newspaper for another country, there was a man who raped a woman, and he ended up the courts, forced him to pay the dad, $1,000, and then he she was forced to marry him. The rape victim was forced to marry the man that raped her. And she was, oh my God, this was, oh shit.